We begin the news by telling you that the federal government has pleaded with organized labor to reconsider its decision to embark on an indefinite strike from Monday, June 3, 2024, in protest against the government's refusal to raise the proposed minimum wage from 60,000 naira. The interest of the masses should be top priority of organized labor, the federal government stressed. Now, while describing the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress as partners in Project Nigeria, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Idris Mohammed, noted that industrial action was not the solution to the ongoing negotiation for a new minimum wage for workers. This came hours after organized labor declared a nationwide strike, which would begin on Monday, June 3, 2024, over the federal government's refusal to raise the proposed minimum wage from 60,000 naira. Now we move to Nigeria's capital, Abuja, where the country's organized labor union says they will commence a nationwide indefinite strike action from Monday, June the 3rd, until a new minimum wage is announced. The leadership of the unions made this known in Abuja, saying that government has refused to accede to their demands, which include the review of the national minimum wage and the reversal in the hike of electricity tariff. Now, Marvelous Obomanu has the report.
With inflation now well over 30% as of today, many Nigerians are unanimous in agreeing that a 30,000 naira minimum wage being received by workers is no longer tenable. Despite ongoing negotiations between the federal government and the organized labor, both teams have been unable to meet a compromise. While government has proposed about 60,000 naira against the figure being suggested by labor, this has been outrightly rejected by the labor negotiating team.
As of today, there is no minimum wage for Nigerian workers, technically. By the expiration of the act, by 18th of April. So as at now, we're operating without any law, backing up the minimum wage. They were talking about 100% increase. That's what they have offered. But the 100% increase amounts to one loaf of bread per day for 30 days. That's what it amounts. They are not looking at the quality or the value of what they are offering to us.
Another issue Labour is raising is the hike in electricity tariff. While recently, the union had protested, demanding a reversal, it is also calling on government to do the needful.
On the 13th of May, we had a protest to NEROC and to some of the discos, registering our displeasure. You know that up till today, there is no word from the government. Our demand was that there should be a reversal from 225 naira per kilowatt down to where it was before, 66 naira per kilowatt.
The president of the Trade Union Congress, Festus Osifo, during a joint news conference with the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress in Abuja, says Labour has concluded plans to commence an indefinite strike.
We are hereby declaring the commencement of a nationwide industrial action, a nationwide strike, effective from Monday, June 3rd, 2024. And this strike shall be indefinite. And this strike shall be on until we have a new national minimum wage.
Until we sign an agreement on what is mutually agreeable by the parties, our action will be on. But our action is not such that we will not equally negotiate. Because the two parties are now going to negotiate under duress. We're under pressure. They will be under pressure.
With many Nigerians still battling with the increasing cost of living, many are optimistic that government will yield to labor's demand and review the nation's minimum wage to a living wage. In Abuja for News Central, Marvelous Obomanu.
Meanwhile, the Abia State chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress has promised to comply with the directive of the NLC and the Trade Union Congress to begin an indefinite nationwide strike on Monday. This was disclosed by the Abia NLC chairman, Ogbonnaya Okoro. The NLC and TUC declared the strike on Friday following the federal government's failure to conclude and pass into law a new National Minimum Wage Act and reverse the hike in electricity tariff to 65 Naira per kilowatt hour. Now joining me on the news to discuss this is Comrade Kayode Surajudeen Alakija, his second Deputy President, Trade Union Congress and National President of Senior Staff Association of Statutory Corporations and Government-Owned Companies. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining me at this time.
Good afternoon. And thank you for having me. Good afternoon, viewers.
It's a pleasure. All right, now, from a labor perspective, now is the proposed 60,000 Naira minimum wage considered a fair and livable income for Nigerian workers, considering the high cost of living?
It is not a fair wage for Nigerian workers. If you look at the proposed 60,000, when the minimum wage was reviewed in 20 Naira. If you look at it, it was equivalent to $84. We are talking of the real value of the money, not the volume. The 60,000 being proposed now, even if you look at it at the current exchange dollars, it's a wage that cannot take anybody home. It's a wage that Nigerian worker cannot. You are talking of 60,000. A loaf of bread now is about 2,000 Naira. Are you saying that is just a wage to give you a loaf of bread added to eat? So this is very, very unacceptable. And that is why Labour have said, and we are going ahead with the proposed strike until and when negotiation is able to reach a common ground as to what is acceptable to Nigerian workers.
All right, Comrade, we seem to be having network issues coming from your end as your line keeps breaking. What you say keeps breaking, but hopefully it's better now. Still talking about, the trade union and the labor union leaders talking about, the strike going on until they come to a consensus. Now, how will the nationwide strike action likely impact different sectors of the Nigerian workforce, particularly the vulnerable or even the low-wage earners?
Well, we have sensitized our and if this is the sacrifice we all need to make our all Nigerians must be ready to make this sacrifice. We know it's going to have serious impact, but then we all have to endure and bear it, such that our future can be better. Nigerian project, but at the same time, we also deserve to have a with the current happenings in the economy. We all know how we got. Knew when the subsidy was removed, and when we also these are two major policies that has really affected Nigerians, and they're so that we can make our life better. I don't think it's too much a sacrifice for to bear with us, so that at least we can get a better future.
All right. Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us and speaking to us on this.
You're welcome.